Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about Scorpio on the 5th house cusp in a natal chart. Now, in astrology, the 5th house governs romance, love, creative endeavors, hobbies, children, amusement, and speculation. The sign on the cusp of the 5th house can give characteristics and attributes to matters pertaining to that 5th house. And also, it's important to look at planets that inhabit that house because this can flavor the house. Another thing that is important is to look at the house where the planetary ruler of the 5th house is located in, as this can show the sector of life that the 5th house energy is injected into. Now, another thing of significance is to look at progressions and transits, as this could indicate greater activity in matters pertaining to the 5th house than otherwise indicated in one's natal chart. Now, first thing I'll look at, as far as the 5th house goes with Scorpio on it, as far as love and romance, this person can be very passionate, have emotional intensity in these matters, and really there may be, on the negative side, there may be some power struggles in these matters. They may have to be wary of perhaps maybe some kind of betrayal or manipulation in matters with their romantic partner. In some cases, these people may be the ones doing that. In some isolated cases, perhaps the person should guard against perhaps maybe also being maybe vengeful or vindictive in matters with love and romance. And another thing to look at as far as having Scorpio on the cusp of the 5th house goes is that with love and romance, this person can perhaps very readily see duplicity and can see if somebody is that right person, or if they're being honest, if they're being fallacious, or they're being true to his or her character. Now, the 5th house governs children as well, and with Scorpio on the cusp of the 5th, perhaps this person may, on the negative side, may be a little bit domineering and possessive. Positive side can be very loyal, be very determined in matters connected with their children, and put the strong emotional intensity connected with Scorpio into these matters. And these people perhaps at times may have trouble detaching themselves from his or her children. This could be somebody that pursues matters with their children very intensely, very passionately. Look at this. And also, since the 5th house does govern children, on the negative side, this could indicate perhaps maybe a child, one or more children, maybe having perhaps that maybe overly possessive Scorpio quality, maybe maybe as far as the I guess you could say maybe the vengeful qualities or something with the manipulation. So that's something just to be wary of. But the children may be such where they may have some pronounced ability, perhaps in astrology, occult, supernatural things, something connected with detective work, might be very proficient in these matters. I'm going to say my mother, Scorpio on the cusp of the 5th house, and voila, look what happened. Pretty self-explanatory, and I'd say I'm fairly enamored with the subject of astrology. But anyway, as far as the 5th house goes, it also can be connected with one's creative endeavors, and this could be a person that might have some interest in astrology, occult, supernatural things as a hobby, perhaps is interested maybe in maybe even more as a youngster, maybe with chemistry, things connected with research. This person may be enamored with like mystery novels, watching mystery shows on television, things that are about maybe things connected with the unknown, perhaps maybe things that are enigmatic, unexplained mysteries, things like the Bermuda Triangle and things of that nature. This person might have sort of interest in. Now, we look at the fifth house as well, and the fifth house also governs speculation. So anything that this person invests in, considering Scorpio is known to be a sign that is shrewd but is skeptical at the same time, I believe this person would really research extensively whatever it is they would invest in before actually doing it. Perhaps investments may be made, if applicable, if there's any companies associated maybe with sex products in some cases, things, perhaps companies associated with the occult, with astrology, with supernatural, with the metaphysical. It's interesting that I have somebody that figured prominently in my life at one time. She had Scorpio on the cusp of the fifth house, and she wound up losing, I think it was like $20,000 to what I think in all probability was a phony, duplicitous psychic. So it's important to be careful if you have this position, not to be perhaps maybe duped by somebody that maybe claims to promise you a fortune, somebody in the metaphysical and the occult, and says they're going to do this, and they really wind up making you relinquish a fortune. So that's something to consider. Perhaps this person may like to play games such as Clue, like the game Clue, or might be interested in occult astrology games, the Ouija board, for example. Any game, maybe astrology trivia, could be something that might tickle this person's fancy. Those are some things that this person may enjoy doing. And as far as anything, I guess I could say, as far as what I've talked about with the love, that the person can make a very loyal, passionate, I would say be very passionate in the love department, but at the same time Scorpio is a suspicious sign, so once the skepticism is eliminated and the person might be less cynical and the trust is there, then the person will be apt to become very loyal, as I would say, as the love relationship would progress. So those are some things to consider when somebody has Scorpio on the cusp of the fifth house in their natal chart. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having Scorpio on the cusp of the fifth house in the natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having the zodiac sign Sagittarius on the fifth house cusp in the natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.